Hi, I'm Hilary, a mom in Oklahoma, and a thunderstorm plus talking about Harry Potter is my happy place.
And I'm Hannah, a stay-at-home mom in Texas, and I am desperate for rain.
Oh, this is episode 10. Oh, no, wrong. I'm looking at my notes. I'm distracted. Oh, no.
We're
I'm like,
leaving
cut
that
the
in.
show. Yeah. This is episode 59 of the Don't You Two Read podcast. Hi, guys. Oh my gosh. What a mess. Okay, so today we're talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, chapter 10, Halloween. That was a cluster, but we got here. That's funny that you're desperate for rain. We're having like 4 huge days of rain here.
It's coming. I think that I don't know if what you have is coming here, but we are
Probably.
we are about to get, they said
Like
like
tomorrow?
Saturday. So like I think it's like fr overnight Friday into Saturday. Like
Mm.
so they already canceled soccer. They're like,
Oh,
no.
wow.
They're saying there may be tornadoes. I don't know,
Yeah,
but we're about to get a lot. But we really, really need
our weathermen are already going live with tornado coverage right now, and I'm like, I'll be in the closet.
for is it for your area? I mean, I guess that's where you'd go anywhere. Anyway, the closet.
Um, Yeah, I don't think it's for our area. I mean, we don't take it, and we live in Oklahoma. I live in Oklahoma. So I don't feel like people in Oklahoma take tornadoes as seriously as we should sometimes, but I'm
Yeah.
like, it's probably fine.
Yeah. I mean, someone will come get you if not.
Yeah.
Um, anyway.
Okay, let's get into it. I think I said last week or the last time that this where there wasn't much, and I don't feel like that was true necessarily. I feel like there's a lot of little stuff to cover.
I got notes.
Okay. So the last chapter we left off in chapter 9, the Midnight Duel, and I feel like that one was actually a smaller chapter
Mm-hmm.
where the ending was the most climatic. I'm like, what am I just need to go to bed. It was the most dramatic, the climax of this of the of the book, of the story in this chapter. They had the three-headed dog, and they can tell he's guarding something. And Harry, all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, I know it's guarding whatever was gone from Gringotts." I don't know how he came to that conclusion, but he did. So that's kind of where we left off.
Yeah, so immediately jumping into chapter 10, Halloween, Malfoy is just shocked that Harry and Ron are still here at Hogwarts.
I guess he was wanting Harry to get expelled.
I guess. And Ron? I mean, because he says both.
Yeah.
I guess. So weird.
And it's funny because Harry and Ron thought that adventure was like so much fun. They couldn't wait to have another adventure. Like they wanted something again, like what other trouble can we get into? And Hermione did not feel that way. She thought it was very not fun, and she's no longer speaking to them. So she's just very angry of all the trouble they got into. Um, and they're not sorry either. So I think that bothers her. And so we pick up there, and Harry gets a mysterious package. Oh, no, 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 no. He does, but they talk about the mysterious package from Gringotts, the one we were talking about before.
Hmm.
And Harry's like, what could the dog be guarding? Um, it's small. They said it's 2 inches long, so very little.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. They have no clue really.
They're happy that Hermione's not talking to them. Ron is like,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, Ron is like, what a win. Because he says she was just so bossy. So this is just an added bonus that she is now like she's just so mad. She doesn't want anything to do with them.
hmm Yeah. And then they want to get Malfoy back though. Like they had fun, but they want to get him back, pay him back for trying to get him into trouble.
Okay, so then this is when Harry gets a huge
hmm
parcel and a letter. And so first he opens the letter because this is in the Great Hall, like in front of everybody. So the letter says, "Do not open this parcel at the table. It contains your new Nimbus 2000, but I don't want everybody knowing you've got a broomstick or they'll all want one. Oliver Wood will meet you tonight on the Quidditch field at 7 o'clock for your first training session, and it is signed from Professor McGonagall." So, I mean, they're so excited. This is like their dreams come true. Or I mean, Harry's dream come true, but
He
Ron is
finds out
excited.
it's a Nimbus 2000, which I mean, I don't know. We're just told like that is the elite, like the hottest broomstick around.
Yeah, they feel like cell phones to me. Like how the way that they talk about them.
Like the most advanced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's comets, Comet 260. Like there's like all different type. I guess like a car maybe. But that one, the Nimbus 2000 is like the one.
Yeah. And so Harry, so Malfoy's very angry at this. He kind of tries to sneak around and find out like what's going on. He's very angry. And Hermione's angry as well. Malfoy's angry because he's jealous, because he's like, that's not fair. I'm gonna tell.
It just everything completely backfired on Malfoy because also Malfoy started this where he took the Remember All. So like he's the one who got Harry to
Yeah.
go flying in the first place.
You
And
know who he's like? This is a biblical example, but Haman from Esther.
oh yeah, you just mess yourself up.
He's like, what
Um
should we do for the person you love the most? Get him a Nimbus 2000. He's like, that's not fair.
yeah, so he like set all this into motion, got Harry to fly. Professor McGonagall saw it, got him on the team. And doesn't he say that? He says it. Yes. Harry says, "Well,
It's thanks to him.
it's really all thanks to Malfoy here that I've got it in the first place." So he's like excited and he tries to snitch again. He tries to tell
Flitwick.
yes. So Malfoy's fighting with Harry, just like he's being all snippy and making fun of Ron again for being poor, saying that he couldn't even afford the handle. Rude. And so then he's trying to tell Professor Flitwick, he's like, well, he has a broomstick and he's not supposed to. And Professor Flitwick is like excited. He's like, oh,
He's like, oh,
yes.
I know he does. Yeah.
And so then that's when Harry's just like, yeah, well, it's really thanks to Malfoy. And then Hermione, which is totally my energy, she's
Uh-huh.
she's just like mad. She's like, "Well, I suppose you think this is a reward for breaking rules."
Yeah. Which it kind of was.
It was. Totally it
That's
was.
why it was funny that Professor McGonagall did it, but it was just ironic, all of it. But Hermione's not happy for him at all. She's just pissed that he broke the rules and got rewarded, and that's not fair. So they're both mad at him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so he meets Wood in the stadium and he starts to learn Quidditch rules. And I have a note here. It says, do we want to cover those? And Hannah said, and then I put yes. So Hannah's gonna go ahead and get
I
started on
mean,
those because I told her I said I struggle with visualizing things like not things in books, but I was telling her battles and like sports stuff, like
yeah.
Quidditch stuff, especially Quidditch because watching the movie did help me. I remember the first time when I
Mm-hmm.
watched the movie that I was like, okay, I kind of got a better idea of what she's talking about. But until I saw the movie, I was like, I have no clue.
There's a lot going on, and I'll be honest, I don't feel like I ever fully understood what was going on until probably reading it for this, like taking notes for this episode because there's a lot going on. Okay, so you have four different sized balls. You have a quaffle, so you have one quaffle, two bludgers, one snitch. Yes, so that's four. See, I'm already confused.
And the
Okay.
snitch is tiny.
Okay, so there's seven players on each team. On your team, you have three chasers, two beaters, and one keeper and one seeker. So it's like, I mean, it's just, to me, it's chaos. You have the chasers who they're throwing the quaffle to each other to try to get it into the hoops. So there's hoops on each side, and that's what the chasers are doing. They're trying to score. So I'm like, okay, okay, that makes sense. So they're trying to score. Every time that they do score in the hoop, there's 10 points and there's three hoops on each side. So that to me feels like soccer.
Or basketball.
Yes, it does mention that basketball. Okay, so you have them, and then you have two beaters. Now the beaters, I feel like they are defense, right? They're protecting their team from the
Yeah.
bludgers,
And
which
that's like where it reminded me of football or American football or
mm,
like lacrosse, maybe.
Oh man, I don't
or
know.
hockey.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about those sports. I don't really know anything about any sports, let's be honest. So they are protecting their team from the bludgers. The bludgers are like two balls that are just going crazy. They're just rocketing around everywhere, and basically you're trying to protect your players from these balls. And then you have one keeper, and the keeper is like the goalie. They're flying around the hoops trying to stop the other team from scoring, and then you have the seeker. The seeker is trying to catch the snitch. That is their only job. Now, catching the snitch earns your team 150 points and it ends the game. That's always confusing to me because it doesn't necessarily mean that you win. It just
Mm-mm.
means you earn your team 150 points and then the game's over. So you have to like strategically, I mean, you would likely win.
But there's no time on the game.
Right. And they said I don't have a note, but they said that it was like the longest one lasted what,
I have
months?
it. Three
Oh,
months.
oh my God. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And they had like people sleeping in shifts and going in and out. Like they
Madness.
didn't even stop all night.
But so Wood explains these rules to Harry and he's like, "Mm-hmm. Yep, I got it."
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Okay."
So that was it. He just explained the rules and that was kind of and it's kind of understood, I guess, that he is starting to practice with a team.
Yeah, and then we have like just time, not time jump, but 2 months pass of
Yeah.
this chaos. Like he's just so busy doing
hmm
homework and then practice.
Again, we see that Harry said Hogwarts was starting to feel like home, which I thought of the quote that Hannah always sends a GIF and it's like, Hogwarts is my home.
Yeah.
But he said it felt like it was home more than Privet Drive ever would. So we kind of see that coming up over and over throughout the series. Like Harry does not miss home or there's no home. Like he considers Hogwarts, it's it. It's his home.
Hmm.
And he's loving it. He's loving his time there. And then Halloween morning comes and then all the vibes. That's what I love about J.K. Rowling. I can't remember how to say her last name. Rowling, I think. Um, she's so good at setting atmosphere, I think, when she moves the plot along, but like just the vibes of especially holidays, I feel like she gets that so well. And it's so funny. It's not funny. It's ironic because, when she said she wrote at least this book, she was very poor, like barely making it at all in life and just wrote these just for her kids just to be something interesting and she
Hmm.
worked really hard on them. And so it's clear, like, I guess you could see how she would relate to Harry and then writing all these, like, this fantasy of having, like, all this food and all this stuff, stuff that
Hmm.
she didn't really probably have access to.
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like she wrote from, like, Harry's perspective, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
something that would be a fantasy for her to have this life of just, like, family and I don't know, like
Yeah.
shelter and food. But he said he woke up to the smell of baking pumpkin, and Professor Flitwick said they can start learning how to make stuff fly, which they're really excited about. And so we go to that class, Charms, and they had
Hmm.
partners. So Harry had Seamus Finnegan. We'll see him repeatedly throughout the books. He's like just a side character. And then Ron had Hermione. Much to his dismay, he just not a fan of
I
Hermione
never
right
realized
now.
that they were like an enemies, situation. And I'm like,
Yeah,
maybe they were.
in the movie, I feel like she annoyed them, but you don't get it as much as the book. You're like, no, like he could not stand her.
Well, and she can't stand him either because it says it's hard to tell whether Ron or Hermione was angrier because they're paired up. They're paired up
Mm.
for charms. And she's still so she has not spoken to them for 2 months. This is like crazy to me. Um, but I guess they were not, they hadn't fully connected, which we'll see that later. But so they make a comment. Ron makes this comment, um, because Oh, why? Because she's like a no. He thinks she's a know-it-all, and she did the spell. This was like the Wingardium Leviosa spell, and
Mm-hmm.
she's just like, you know, hoity-toity, but she's right. So she knows how to do it, and she does it. She's the first one to do it, make the feather float,
She's like, you're
and
saying it wrong. And that's a classic line in the movie.
yes, yes, and so
It's Leviosa. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
because he's so sassy, and he tells her, well, then you do it if you're so clever, and then she does, which.
And she gets like this applause and
So he's mad, and then he says, "It's no wonder no one can stand her. She's a nightmare, honestly." And so, but this makes me, it was funny, but then it gets sad because she's there and she like bumps into them, like trying to run away, and she's crying and clearly hurt him. And Harry is like, I think she hurt
hmm
you. And Ron is like, oh,
I
well,
don't
what?
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't, what, that she would have noticed. I mean, she doesn't have any friends. So like basically, why is she surprised, you know?
Like,
So
yeah, how she wonders why she never has friends. And I had a note here. Did she think they were friends? And were they? Well, I guess we see Ron and Hermione were not. We see that very clearly. And then they answer that question later at the end of the chapter. So I put a note of it, but they do answer it that they were not friends at this point.
right.
And but I don't think Harry was as annoyed with her as Ron because
No.
Harry just had no friends, you know? So he was like happy to have this little group of people that liked
But
him for him.
Harry wasn't reaching out to her these 2 months either. So
No.
I don't think they were friends. I would say. I would
But
say
I
they're
think
not.
she and Ron were like enemies.
And even if they are not friends, nobody wants to hear people talk about you that way. So
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
mean.
resent
Like
her.
especially in a public place, like that was too mean.
I know.
But they're also like 12.
It's important though, because she's crying in the bathroom. And she
Yes.
and so she is it that like the girls at school are talking about it because they're like she didn't show up to her next class, which is very un-Hermione like. And the girls at the school are talking about it, that she is crying in the bathroom, and she
All
has
day.
said, yeah, yeah, it would be, and that she's wants to be by herself. So she's very upset about all of this. And then that's where we continue to the Great Hall.
For
Which,
dinner, I guess.
did
Yeah.
you have this marked for the description of the Great Hall?
Yeah.
Okay, I figured you would.
Yeah. I put Halloween decor. That's the section. So they're just thousands of bats. They say they're like big black clouds of bats that are hanging low and around the like usually we have the candlesticks, but right now for Halloween we have pumpkins floating with candles inside of them. And so very magical again. Doesn't seem too scary, just more like, the Halloween vibes. And so they're eating, and Professor Quirrell comes in freaking out again that there's a troll in the bathroom and it's in the school, and he's freaking out, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, which is funny because he is the professor of the dark arts. So Dumbledore calms everyone down. It's like, hey, you need to take shelter. So they're all headed down to the dungeon, but they feel bad, or they're like, well, we need to tell Hermione. Like, she's in the bathroom. We should warn her that we're all evacuating or whatever, taking shelter. So that's what they start going, and then they see Snape off on his own. I guess sneaking around where they think he's going towards the third floor, which
Mm-hmm.
is where they should not be. They're banned from going.
I didn't even have a note about that. So yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Well, should we follow him? Maybe we should see what he's up to." And then they see the troll, and I mean, they quickly get diverted. And so the troll, they say he's 12 foot tall. He has a little head. They say it's like a coconut, and he smells like a toilet and has dull gray skin. So, and they talk
Gross.
about it previously, right? Like how they're dumb.
Oh, I don't know.
I think so. So they see him like raging around, and they see him run into a room. They don't say what room. I noticed that. Runs into a room, and
Mm-hmm.
Hermione and Ron are like, okay, not sorry, not Hermione. Harry and Ron see him, and they're like, okay, well, he ran into this room. Let's slam the door shut and lock it because there's a key on the outside of the door, which is
Which is
weird when you think
weird.
about it. Yeah, when you think about it,
I was
for
thinking
this
that too. I was like,
any room,
what?
but especially this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing in Britain.
From the outside. Yeah, we'll just continue.
Yeah. So they did that, ran away, and they hear screams and like, why? And they notice that, oh, he was in the girls' bathroom. And I put a note, dummies.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, that's Hermione about to get beat up, by this troll. So I guess we have to go back. So they unlock the door and confront the troll there. And I had a note. It said they threw a tap against the wall. And I said, what was the tap? Like I know we have tap water. Do they mean like the faucet or like
Oh yeah, seizing a tap. No, what? No. Let's look this up. Okay, it says that's not helpful. It says a bathroom tap is known as the faucet.
that's what I thought.
It consists of the
Because we call it tap
handle.
water.
The handle. How are you gonna grab a tap? Anyway, that I did not notice that. Confuse it. Confuse us. Confuse it, Harry said desperately to Ron, and seizing a tap, he threw it as hard as he could against the wall. And then he says, "Oi, pea brain." Okay, so anyway, they're defeating this troll. Harry jumps on his neck and shoves the wand up his nose, and that scene makes me ick every
And it
time.
seems like that was an accident, right?
I mean, how do
In,
you
in the book,
accident?
it just said, well, how he jumped, the wand went up his
It's
nose.
not good. Yeah. I mean, whenever you see how boys play, yeah, I could see that being an accident. Anyway, so then and then Ron does Wingardium Leviosa. And it works this
Correctly.
time. Yeah, I was like, oh, a full circle moment. So he does it correctly. It lifts up the club from the troll and then it falls on his head and knocks him out.
The professors all rush in after this.
Always
Like,
2 seconds too late.
yeah. McGonagall, who was it? Snape,
Quirrell.
in the back. What did
Yeah.
he say? Like, shaking in his boots.
Yeah, sitting on the toilet.
I
And
had a note here. It says Quirrell is a total wimp. He really is.
so they all come in, and Harry's feeling really good about himself because he's like, yeah, we just did something cool. And then he sees that they are not happy. And Professor McGonagall is just like furious. She's like, what are you doing? You're lucky you weren't killed. Why weren't you in your dorms? So then Hermione, she's like, she lies. Hermione tells them that she felt like she could go defeat the troll herself and that she was just over her head and that they came to help her.
Yeah, that's basically it. And I had a question here. Did she need to lie? I don't really get the point of
I guess she didn't want to
the
say she was
lie.
crying in the
Like,
bathroom.
yeah, I'm like, that's it. That she could have just said I was in the bathroom
Yeah, yeah,
and they knew I was here. Like,
kids, man.
I think she was just trying to like extend an olive branch.
I think so, for sure. Because they say that her lying to the teacher was like the love language
Yeah.
for the boys because they were like,
Like
"What?"
making her look bad.
Yeah. And so she does. She gets like chastised. Professor McGonagall is like, "You
And
foolish."
5 points away.
Yeah, 5 points gone. I'm very disappointed in you, which I feel is the ultimate punishment for Hermione.
Yeah,
Um,
it said like her head was down and
yeah. So she sends her to bed. And then Professor McGonagall tells Ron and Harry that she still thinks that they're lucky, but not many first years could have taken on a full-grown mountain troll. And so she gives them 5 Gryffindor points each. And she's always a little sneaky like that.
so they're happy, but not that happy because they're like, well, that's an injustice. Like, we only came out ahead 5 points. We deserved way more. Like, that was way harder than 5 points. But Harry's like, well, at least we weren't like, severely punished. But they say this was the point because to answer my question earlier, they made a note. This is whenever they all saw each other, Hermione, Ron, and Harry, and they all said thanks to each other. And I think in the common room, and they said she is now their friend. And the quote is, there are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other, and knocking out a 12-foot mountain troll is one of them. So they are all three officially friends, and that is how they will stay.
I know. This whole scene is like, it's kind of silly and all that, but it is like that quote is one of my favorite moments in like the series.
I mean,
And
it's true. Sometimes you just go through stuff together and you're like, yeah, we're closer because of, the bad
and
stuff you go through.
and we will see like specifically Ron and Hermione's friendship and like to see how it started is crazy because even like I feel soon, I might even be this book where he like in the next, and we'll see it the whole series, but like he defends her and like sticks up for her and like knows that she is the same personality that she is here that drove him crazy, and he defends her for it. Like
But I feel like he still gives her a lot of sass too.
he does, but in the movie, and we'll talk about this later, but in the movie, he gives her much more sass than in the book. And I stand by that. They make him meaner in the movie and take out some quality parts of their friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's Halloween. And also, it's the week of Halloween, so we had to do it. We had to do it on this. But I don't feel like we did it on purpose. It just magically worked out. So,
yeah.
okay, so next week, guys, we're going to attempt it. We'll see how we do. Next week, we're going to do chapters 11, Quidditch, and 12, The Mirror of Erised.
Mm,
Uh, right? Is that right?
yeah, sure. I think
Yeah.
so. I think so.
We're gonna we're gonna attempt to do both of those just because 11, we're gonna go quickly through that one. I don't feel like there's very much. I feel like there's 9 pages or something in it. Quickly go through that one and then primarily focus on 12. And yeah, and then the following week we'll have something special leading up to. I feel like it kind of works because chapter 12 in Harry Potter, it talks about the holidays, like Christmas is coming,
Oh,
and that was like perfect because it's leading into we have a special Christmas episode, which I know it's early, but not for us. It'll be in November. A Christmas opener to
yeah.
the season episode. So we have that. So next week, 11 and 12, the following week, a special Christmas episode. So that's exciting.
Okay. Where can we find you, Hillary?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at Hilary Reads.
And I'm at Hannah Reads.
And our podcast is at Don't You Two Read Podcast, all on Instagram. So come follow us and all of us, all accounts, and please rate and review our podcast on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to us. We really appreciate it. It helps us find the perfect listeners for us. So thank you for those of you that have.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.